Namaste Karnataka. Nanu Nima Harish. Today we have Pushpa Mirajkar, who is a science teacher, renowned science teacher from the last 25 years. She is in the same field, and today she is going to explain us about the blueprint of Karnataka SSLC Examination Science. Ma'am, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Harish.
So can you please explain us about the physics blueprint?
Yeah. See, in physics, we are having chapters which is called as the light, reflection and refraction is there. And then we have the human eye and the colorful world. So these two are related to light chapter.
Okay.
Now, there are the questions coming over here. We have in the chapter of reflection and refraction, we'll be getting somewhere around 3 questions. And it will come up to total weightage of the marks will be 8 marks.
Okay.
So you will have a 1 mark question. For example, they may ask you what is the center of a convex mirror or concave mirror called. You must know what the central part. Or they will ask you what the diameter of a convex mirror called, or a mirror called.
Okay.
So you can say the center of curvature. Okay, and these are the things like probably they may ask you like what is where do all the rays after coming parallel to a principal axis, where do they meet after reflection? So there's a small question which come as a multiple choice question, so that's easy to answer. Then the next one over here we are having a 3 marker. Okay, in this probably you'll be given a question where you'll be asked about they may ask you what is reflection of light, what are the laws of reflection of light, or you may be asked the characteristics of light. Okay, of the plane mirror. And in the 3 marker, here there's one 3 marker. In that they may ask you about a ray diagram.
4 marker.
And yeah, they may give you a particular specific position of the object.
Okay.
For example, the object may be placed between the center of curvature and the focus of the mirror.
Okay.
So where is the image formed? And you should write the nature and also the size of the image formed. Or sometimes they may ask you what is magnification also. What is magnification? Explain. That also they'll be asking. And using the magnification, how can I identify whether the image is a real image or it's a whether it's a virtual image or it's a real image or the same size of the image. So you will be exactly asking questions related to magnification. You'll be asked. So these are the things. And in refraction of light also you're having something about twinkling of stars. For in the 3 markers you may be getting about like why do the stars appear to change its position? This is one question. And what happens when light passes through a glass slab? What is the refraction? What is the laws of what are the laws of refraction of light?
Okay.
And these are the things you may be asked. So overall, refraction and reflection is an easy chapter. You can actually score. It's easily scoreable. 8 marks is easily scoreable in this.
Okay.
Then the next one over here is the human eye and the colorful world. In this, they will be giving you an example that, for example, Harish cannot read a book which is not kept at 50 centimeters. And what is the defect you are actually facing? And how can this defect be corrected? Explained by means of a ray diagram.
Okay.
So that can be. So this actually, it's a 5 mark over here. So in this, there are 2 questions. One is a 2 marker and one is a 3 marker. So in the 3 marker, of course, you'll be getting that. And in the 1 marker and the 2 marker questions, probably you'll be asked what is power of accommodation and what are the defects of the common human eye. Okay. And these are the small questions which you get in the 2 marker. Quite an interesting chapter only. And it's very easy to identify. You must learn the defects of the eye and the correction of the eye and how it is corrected using a convex lens, a concave lens. How is it corrected? It's hypermetropia. Probably they may give you the full form or they may give you just a statement and you should identify that. Is it a hypermetropia or it's a myopic eye, whatever it is. Okay. And then we are having the next chapter which is electricity. Here also the weightage is quite high, 8 marks. And in this probably they might ask you what is electric. In this there are 2 1 markers. Like they may ask you what is the unit of current. And potential difference, they may ask what is the unit of potential difference. And they may ask you what is the rate of current also, probably they may ask. Okay, these are the small questions. But one thing over here is it's easy to identify this because the answers will be given to you. You only have to identify by ticking it out.
It will be
it's a multiple choice question.
Okay.
So in the second one over here, so in electricity, probably you may be asked like, what does a rheostat do? what is the function of a battery in an electric circuit, or you can identify a circuit which is an open circuit, which is a closed circuit,
Right.
or probably be asked what's the series connection, what's the parallel
resistors.
connection, yeah. That can be asked. Okay, so an electricity 4-marker. In that, you'll be asked to explain about when resistors are connected.
Okay.
They're connected in series, and what will be the effective resistance, you have to explain. And along with that, a sum will be given to you, a numerical will be given to you. In that, you have to calculate the effective resistance, and also you have to calculate the kind of a current flowing in the circuit, because the battery voltage will be given to you. So all these are called numericals. So these are all heavy mark questions.
Okay.
So these are generally numericals.
Got
Okay.
it.
And then magnetic effects of current. In magnetic effects of current, you may be asked what's a solenoid. Probably may be asked like how does current move from when the magnetic lines, what are they? Are they moving from the north to the south, or the south to the north? So these are the small questions which can be asked. Now the 2-marker questions. It's a simple question like what does a bar magnet show? Draw the diagram for the magnetic field lines around a bar magnet. That can be asked. And or what's an electromagnet? That can be asked. And in the 3-marker question, probably you will be asked to explain, given a compass and a magnet, and how you are going to fix it, and how you're going to draw and explain and show how the magnetic field lines can be obtained around a bar magnet. That can be done, or on a straight conductor, or you can be asked for a Fleming's right-hand rule or a Fleming's left-hand rule can be asked over here. So altogether you're having 3 questions here, and this is also a 6 marks weightage question. So finally over here is our environment. So we are only 3 markers. So how can you keep your environment clean? What is your place? What is your role in environment cleaning and all that? Probably you'll be asked a 3. Quite a half a page answer you should write for getting a 3 marks. Okay. So this is all about for environment. And there's only one question in that. So just go through that chapter, read it properly, because I think it is self-explanatory. So you can write in your own words. But whereas chapter for electric current, which is carrying more weightage over here, is electricity, and of course in the chapter of reflection and light. So go through the chapter much more in detail. Okay.
So overall in physics, we will be getting around 30 marks out of
30 marks, yes.
8 in light,
Yes.
5 in human eye and colorful world, 8 in electricity, 6 in magnetic effects of electric current, and
Done.
3 in our environment, right?
Yes, total
30 out of 80.
That's good.
Okay, right. So moving on to our chemistry.
Okay.
So what do you say about the chemistry
In
part?
chemical reactions, they may ask you what the change in color when this reaction happens. For example, copper sulfate, when it's actually water of crystallization is removed. What's the color?
Got it.
So simple things. And is it an exothermic reaction when heat is released? So the small questions, very simple questions, will be asked for a 1 marker.
Okay.
Now in a 2 marker question,
3 marker.
you here, okay,
Yeah,
or a 3 marker. Now in this, there are many types of reactions: chemical displacement reactions, double displacement reactions, or you will given a reaction and it will be given in words. You have to write it in chemical equation form with chemical formula, and also you have to balance it.
Okay.
So that's the kind of question which you'll get for a high mark question. So chemical reaction and equation, how you have to study is, you have to learn by writing.
Okay.
You cannot just by heart it just by
Practice
words.
more and more.
You have to practice by writing. That's important. Okay. And then in acids, bases, and salts, this is actually a big mark question. That is a big chart that is carrying more weightage. Now, which are strong acids, which are strong bases? So what kind of a salt is formed from a weak acid and a strong base? Or a weak acid and a weak base, what kind of a salt is formed? So generally normal salts, acidic salts, basic salts are there. All these are the kind of questions which can be asked in a 2 marker question. And also in acids, bases, and salts, you're having a 3 marker question. In this 3 marker question, you'll be given more about your pH values. Okay. So what is meant by pH value? How can you increase? What happens when you add water to an acid? Does the pH decrease or does it increase? Same way, when what is neutralization reaction? They may give you an example in daily life, and they may ask you, is it a neutralization reaction? What kind of a reaction is this called? Is it called? So you have to know what it is. So only when you go through it properly, that is one thing. And in an acid base, what generally we do is, in salts, in generally salts and all, We are having salts like washing soda, we are having salts like plaster of Paris, washing soda, and baking soda, and how are these actually got, and how are these actually made? So, what is the kind of process it is happening? So, for example, plaster of Paris, I'm making it from gypsum. So, how do I get it from gypsum?
The
So, it's a
manufacturing.
manufacturing process. So, that is explained, should be explained in detail. So, that carries 4 marks. So, that's actually a 4-marker question. You have to write more in that. And the second thing is, in one question, probably in that, from that one question, you'll be having 3 sub questions for a 1-marker each. So probably 1 mark, 1 marker, and then a 2-marker question from the same question. So that can how it can be. Okay.
Metals and non-metals.
And next, metals and non-metals. In metallurgy. So in metallurgy, they'll be asking you what about the differences between metals and non-metals? Go to the differences, because some metals are exceptions are there, which are in a liquid format. There are some non-metals. Generally, all non-metals are gases and liquids, but there may be some metals in a solid format that you can give an exception. And generally, when we talk about non-metals and how non-metals actually react, okay, to form with water. So when we say non-metals react with water to form acidic oxides, base metals, that is basic oxides to form bases, all the small reactions, and these are metals and non-metals. And coming to the next part of that, when metals and non-metals, very important is to know the differences very well. So in this chapter of metals and non-metals, we're having a combination of a metal with a non-metal to form a compound. For example, sodium is a metal reacting with a non-metal like chlorine, and the formation has to be shown by means of a electron dot diagram. Okay, that, or magnesium chloride can be asked. So these are the simple things which will come for a high mark question, which is said to be a 4-mark question. Formation to be shown of an ionic compound, and you can also, they also give you an experiment to show that how hydrogen is actually liberated, and you have to explain what is the reaction happening in the. So the figure will be given to you. You don't have to learn the figure as such. The diagram will be given to you, and based on that diagram, questions will be asked. For example, in the preparation of hydrogen in the lab, the diagram is given to you, so you must know the reaction. Zinc plus H2SO4 gives rise to ZnSO4 plus hydrogen. So if you know that reaction, probably you'll be better. So the diagram is such that you'll be given 3 questions based on that, and then you got to answer that. So these are all 1-markers in that one question.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're having something to do with carbon and its compounds. I think this is the highest weightage. I think it's 8 marks over here. Now, in this, we'll be asked what is catenation, what is tetravalency, okay? Or probably you'll be asked a homologous series. The first member will be asked, and they'll be asking you the formula of that, and then they may ask you what's the third member. So you must know the formula to get the third member.
Okay.
And what is hydrogenation? What is the catalyst used in hydrogenation? And why should hydrogenation be done actually when it is such a long process? Why should it be done? All these are small things. And secondly, when you are having a structure will be given to you, like what are isomers, what is isomerism. So you must be knowing to draw the isomers of butane, pentane and all that. And in that, one of the hydrogen, if hydrogen is removed and replaced by a functional group. So you must know the functional groups also to know the answer. So that is these are all questions which should be really understood only by learning by writing. Okay. So chemistry is all about learning by writing. You cannot simply learn. Okay. And the next one over here, this is the last one.
In chemistry, we are having 4 lessons. Totally 4 plus 6.
Yeah.
25 marks out of 80 marks. It will come from chemistry.
Okay. Easily can be done.
Okay, ma'am. It was really wonderful that you have given the information with respect to physics and chemistry, which is your forte.
Yeah. Yes.
So what do you suggest for the students, ma'am?
The students actually, when the exams are coming close by, okay, so don't put so much of stress, give up on your sleep, and actually start studying in the last minute. You will never remember anything in the last minute. So study at least 15 to 20 days earlier, so that by the time the exam comes, you'll be going through another set of revision. Okay, that is important. So if naale exam anta ivat raatri ella ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಲ್ತ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ತಲೆನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ your brain also will work properly. Not that you study the whole day, whole night, and then you go and see and you forget everything and the paper is going blank. So don't do that. So whatever much you know, write as much as you know. That's important. Just don't leave the paper just with one line answer. Just look at the marks and answer. How much the marks is. Accordingly you answer. If it's a 2 mark, at least write about 4-5 lines. If it's a 3 marker, write at least about a paragraph of an answer. This is all important. And secondly, don't go on scratching the paper. If you do not know a particular question, leave that question and leave that for the end. So you can write that answer later on. But don't get stuck in one question, become nervous, and afterwards you are actually not only nervous, you forget that and forget what you know also. And moreover, you are wasting time in handling that particular question. So, for example, in physics only, let's say you do not get a numerical. So, leave that question over there and go to the next and just solve. Studying is very important. So, as far as possible, if you study early in the morning, I think it is much more better, according to me. But there are students who can study better in the night. So, it depends on their way of studying. But studying at least about 2 hours in the morning is very important. At least, I would say, from 5 to 7 in the morning is important. Drink enough water, eat well and all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.